Hello and welcome to the Savera. This is Dinkle before you. President Vladimir Putin was sworn in for a new six-year term on Tuesday at Kremlin ceremony that was boycotted by United States and other Western countries, at which he said that he was potentially open to nuclear talks with the West. Putin, in power as president or prime minister since 1999, begins his new mandate for more than 2 years after he sent tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine, where Russian forces have regained the initiative after a series of reversals and are seeking to advance further in the east. At 71, Putin dominates the domestic political landscape. On the international stage, he is locked in a confrontation with the Western countries. He accuses of using Ukraine as a vehicle to try and defeat and dissemble Russia. Putin told Russia's political elite after being sworn in that he was not shutting down dialogue with the West, but it would have to make its own choice about how to engage with his country. He said that talks on the strategic nuclear stability with the West were also possible, but only on the equal terms. He said, and I quote, "We are a united and great people, and together we will overcome all the obstacles. We will bring to life everything we have planned. Together we will be victorious," Putin said while taking oath for the sixth time. Putin in March won a landslide victory in a tightly controlled election from which two anti-war candidates were barred on technical grounds. His best-known opponent, Alexei Navalny, died suddenly in an Arctic penal colony a month earlier, and other leading critics are in jail or have been forced to flee abroad. The United States, which said it did not consider re-election free and fair, stayed away from Tuesday's inauguration ceremony. Britain, Canada and most European nations also decided to boycott the swearing-in, but France said it would send its ambassador. Ukraine said the event sought to create the illusion of legality for the nearly lifelong stay in power of a person who has turned the Russian Federation into an aggressor state and ruling regime into a dictatorship. Sergei Kemzov, a close Putin ally, told media before the ceremony that Putin brought stability, something which even his critics should welcome. For Russia, this is a continuation of a path. This is stability. You can ask any citizen on the street, Kemzov said. President Putin was re-elected and will continue the path, although the West probably doesn't like it. But they will understand that Putin is stability for Russia rather than some sort of new person who came with new policies, either cooperation or confrontation even. Russia's relations with the United States and its allies are at their lowest point since the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, when the world came to the brink of nuclear war. The West has provided Ukraine with artillery, tanks and long-range missiles, but NATO troops have not joined the conflict directly, something that both Putin and President Joe Biden have warned could lead to the World War III. Underscoring the rise in nuclear tensions, Russia said on Monday that it would practice the deployment of tactical nuclear weapons as part of the military exercise after what it said were the threats from France, Britain and the United States. "We hope that this event will cool down the hotheads in Western capitals," the Russian foreign minister said on the oath ceremony. One of the decisions awaiting Putin in his new term will be whether to seek to renew or replace the last remaining treaty that limits Russian and US strategic nuclear warheads. The New START agreement is due to expire in 2026. It remains unclear how far he will seek to press his war with Ukraine, a decision that will depend in part on whether Joe Biden or Donald Trump wins the US presidential election in November. In line with the Constitution, the government of Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin resigned at the start of the new presidential term. Putin will appoint a new one, which is expected to include many of the same faces. Well, that's all for now. For more major updates, stay tuned to the Savera.